right, class, I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. As you can see, we are going to talk about all things round. Do you remember from yesterday when we read this book at the end of class? We talked about Radius and his adventure to turn his father back into a man. Well, he had to figure out that magic number of how many spoonfuls to give his father, correct? So today, we're going to talk about all the parts of the circle. We're going to talk about the diameter, what a radius is, what pi is, we're going to discover that, a chord, and what circumference is. So let's get started. All right, first we are going to talk about the parts of a circle. The first part is the diameter. So, here we have our large circle. It's not perfect, I am human. All right, so our circle, if we take 2 points on the outside of the circle, and here's our center, we're going to call it O. If we connect these 2 points through the center, that's what makes it a diameter. So it's 2 points on the outside of the circle connected through the center. So our next part is a radius. This also has 2 points on the circle, but we start in the middle. So we're going to start at our center O and go anywhere to the outside of the circle. So if this was a perfect circle, then all of these would be the same length. So remember when we talked about triangles, this is our mark that we make for the same length. So all of these are the same length, and we call them radii. That is the plural for radius. All right, the chord is a little bit tricky because it's similar to a diameter, but not quite. We also have 2 points on the outside of the circle, but instead of connecting them through the center, we just connect them. So technically you could have it like that, but that's not a chord because right now we're just dealing with straight lines. All right, I have a little game that we're going to play called Guess the Part. I have a couple examples of circles, and I need some volunteers to tell me what they are. All right, Alex, what's the first one?
Radius.
Why?
Because it goes to one side of the circle.
Good. From the center to the outside. Very good. All right, Eric, what about the second one?
That'd be the diameter.
Why?
It's on 2 parts of the circle and it passes through the center.
Good. Very good. You guys are getting this. How about the third one? Any volunteers? Sarah?
The chord.
Good, because it connects 2 outside points on the circle, but it doesn't go through the middle. Very good. What about the last one? The last one's a little bit tricky. Taylor?
Dominant chord.
Yes, because it connects 2 outside points, but it doesn't go through the center. So I tried to trip you guys up there. So you guys did that perfectly. All right, now we're going to talk about the circumference of the circle. So let me get rid of these little lines here. All right, circumference is the distance around the circle. So this big blue line is our circumference. Now, there are many things even in this room. What are some examples of round things in this room? Yep, and there's actually 2 in there because we have the big outside circle and also the minutes in there. What else? The speakers, good. Even look at some of your coffee cups where the bottom is round and even the top. These are examples of different types of circles that we can measure. So, but they're all different sizes. So how do we find the circumference for each one? Well, we have a formula where it changes based on the size of the circle, but the number that we multiply it is the same. So, our formula for circumference is C, circumference equals 2 times pi, and we're going to talk about what that is, times r. And our r is our radius. Remember how we talked about it? It starts from the center and goes to the outside. So some examples of this, let's make an easy one. Our radius is 2. So we have 2 times pi times 2. So we're not going to reduce this, so we're just going to leave it as 4 pi. All right, now let's look at this. If we come over here, what is 2 times radius? We make another radius. What does that look like? Good. So we could also write our circumference formula as So if you don't know what the radius is, but you know what the diameter is, then you can plug it into that formula. All right, now we're going to talk about pi. When we were reading our book yesterday, we saw that it was 3 1/7. So we're going to do a little activity. I have these handy dandy circles, so everybody take one. And as you're getting these papers, I want you to take out like an ID card or something that's sharp. And if you don't have one, I have a couple of extras. Let me know. All right, you guys are also going to get a piece of licorice, but listen carefully. You may not eat it yet. So I'll give each of you a piece. Passing them out, once you get them, carefully separate 3 pieces from the 9. Make sure it doesn't rip. If it rips, then we're going to have to start over. Let me know. I do have a couple of extras, but try to be as careful as you can. Did you get one? A handout?
Yeah, I put it right there, so.
All right. Now, in order to see what pi is, we know that we have to multiply the diameter by pi. So each of you have your 3 pieces separated. Sorry. Did you get 3 at one time? All right. Now we're going to take our circle and from the top, up here, just point at the top, take your 3 pieces and lay them from the top point and just let it go across the line. So start the point, start the very tip of the licorice at the top, and go all the way down. Now, once you have your licorice, make a mark where that bottom point is with your card or your whatever you took out. All right, now take the licorice off and cut it, or you can leave it on and cut it, whatever. Now, this is where we're going to see how many times we multiply the diameter by pi. So here you have your point up at the top. I want you to take your first piece of licorice, so you have all 3 pieces separated. Take your first piece and lay it around the circumference. Okay? You guys can see it a little better. And then where that piece stops, lay the next one. And where that one stops, the next. What do we do with the piece that we you just set them, you can set them aside. So you can see that it doesn't go all the way around, right? We only have 3, but we have a little piece in here left over. And remember yesterday when we were reading Radius and His Adventures, we found that pi is 3 1/7. So that 1/7 is that little piece. So if you made a little piece from your extra licorice, you would find that the rest of the circle is 1/7 of a piece of the diameter. And I think that's so cool to be able to see it. All right, you guys can eat your licorice now. All right. Tomorrow when you come to class, we're going to have a short quiz over the diameter. So take the sheet home, study it. Radius, the chord, the circumference, and what pi is. And I'm so excited that that we were able to go back and learn through our book, and you got to do it on your paper with our licorice. Hands-on experience is the best. As you walk in the hallways this afternoon, look for things that are round, write them down in a notebook, or even just remember them, bring them to class tomorrow, and we'll talk about them.